The rain was relentless, mirroring the storm inside me. I sat in my car, parked a block away from what used to be our home, the place where I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with Isolde. Now it felt like a tomb. I'm Quentin, 46, and until a few weeks ago, I was a content architect in Seattle, Washington. Content, both digital and emotional, was my forte. Building structures, ensuring flow, creating experiences. Ironic, isn't it, that I couldn't keep my own life from collapsing? Isolde and I had been together for 15 years, married for 12. We met at a coffee shop, both reaching for the same book, a collection of poetry by Mary Oliver. It felt like fate, a meet-cute straight out of a movie. She was a vibrant artist, full of life and color, and I was drawn to her like a moth to a flame. Over the years, we built a life together. A comfortable, predictable life maybe, but one filled with love and mutual respect. Or so I thought. The first crack appeared subtly, a hairline fracture I dismissed as stress. Isolde started staying late at her studio, claiming deadlines and demanding clients. I understood, the art world could be brutal. But then came the phone calls she'd take outside, her voice hushed, her back turned to me. The text messages she'd quickly delete. The change in her scent, a perfume I didn't recognize. I tried to talk to her, but she brushed me off, accusing me of being insecure and controlling. "Don't you trust me, Quentin?" she'd ask, her eyes wide and innocent. And I, like a fool, believed her. I wanted to believe her. Doubt gnawed at me, but I shoved it down, clinging to the memory of the woman I loved. The breaking point came unexpectedly. I had planned a surprise weekend getaway for our anniversary. I booked a cozy cabin in the mountains, packed her favorite snacks, and even bought a new bottle of her favorite wine. I came home early from work, eager to see her reaction. The house was silent. Too silent, I found her phone on the kitchen counter. It was unlocked. A text message popped up from a number I didn't recognize. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Meet me at the Blue Moon at 8. My blood ran cold. The Blue Moon was a dive bar downtown, not exactly Isolde's usual haunt. I clicked on the number. The message history was short but explicit. Heart emojis, rendezvous plans, declarations of love. My hands trembled as I scrolled through the messages, each one a stab in the heart. The sender's name was saved as Gareth. I sank into a chair, the wind knocked out of me. My world tilted on its axis. After a few minutes of stunned silence, anger began to boil inside me. I needed to know who Gareth was. I needed to confront Isolde. I waited for her to come home, pacing the living room like a caged animal. When she finally walked through the door, her face lit up when she saw me. "Quentin, what are you doing here so early?" she asked, her voice bright. "Who's Gareth?" "Isolde," I asked, my voice dangerously calm. Her smile faltered. "Gareth? I don't know any Gareth," she said, her eyes darting around the room. I held up her phone. "This Gareth, the one you're meeting at the Blue Moon tonight." Her face paled. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. The guilt was written all over her face. I can explain," she stammered. "Explain what, Isolde? Explain how you've been lying to me for months. Explain how you've been betraying me." She started to cry. "It just happened," she sobbed. "It wasn't supposed to mean anything." "Who is he?" I demanded. He's a carpenter. I met him when he was doing some work at the studio." "A carpenter?" My wife, the sophisticated artist, was having an affair with a carpenter. The irony was almost comical. "I want you to leave," I said, my voice flat. "I want you out of this house tonight." She begged me to forgive her, promising it would never happen again. But the trust was gone, shattered into a million pieces. I couldn't look at her without seeing the lies in her eyes. She left that night, taking a suitcase filled with her clothes and a lifetime of memories. The house felt empty, hollow. The silence was deafening. I spent the next few days in a daze, going through the motions of life. I went to work, but I couldn't focus. I ate, but I couldn't taste anything. I slept, but my dreams were filled with images of Isolde and Gareth. I knew I couldn't stay in Seattle. The city was filled with reminders of her. I needed a fresh start, a clean slate. I decided to move to Portland, Oregon. It was close enough to Seattle that I could still see my friends, but far enough away that I could create a new life for myself. I found a small apartment in a quiet neighborhood and threw myself into my work. It was a distraction, a way to numb the pain. One evening, a few months after the move, I received a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer it, but something told me to pick up. "Hello," I said. "Is this Quentin?" A woman's voice asked. "Yes, it is." "Who's this? My name is Elowen. I'm Gareth's wife." My heart skipped a beat. Gareth's wife. What could she possibly want I know about the affair, she said, her voice trembling. Gareth told me everything. I didn't say anything, waiting for her to continue. "I'm so sorry," she said. "I had no idea. He's done this before. He's a serial cheater, a serial cheater." Isolde had fallen for a serial cheater. It was almost too much to bear. "I wanted to apologize," Elowen continued. And I wanted to warn you. He's not a good person. He's manipulative and deceitful. He'll say anything to get what he wants." We talked for a long time that night. Elowen told me about Gareth's past, about the other women he had cheated on her with. She was heartbroken and angry, just like I was. We found solace in our shared pain. We started talking regularly, supporting each other through the difficult times. We discovered that we had a lot in common, a shared love of art, music, and literature. Over time, our friendship deepened. We started spending time together, exploring Portland, going to concerts, and sharing meals. I found myself drawn to her kindness, her intelligence, and her strength. One evening, as we were walking home from a jazz club, I stopped and turned to her. "Elowen," I said, I think I'm falling in love with you." She looked at me, her eyes filled with tears. "I think I'm falling in love with you too, Quentin," she said. We kissed, and it felt like coming home. It wasn't the passionate, fiery love I had shared with Isolde. It was something deeper, something more real. It was a love built on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. I never forgave Isolde for what she did, but I learned to move on. I learned that betrayal doesn't have to define you. It can break you, but it can also make you stronger. I found love again in the most unexpected place. I found happiness in the midst of heartbreak. And I learned that sometimes the greatest blessings come from the darkest of times. Isolde, on the other hand, didn't fare so well. Gareth left her a few months after Elowen found out about the affair. Apparently, he had moved on to another woman. She tried to contact me, begging me to take her back, but I refused. I had moved on. She lost her studio due to financial mismanagement and moved back in with her parents. Karma, I suppose. Life is funny that way. It can throw you curveballs, knock you down, and leave you feeling like you'll never get back up. But it can also surprise you, offering you unexpected gifts, new beginnings, and second chances. And sometimes the greatest revenge is simply living a happy life. Betrayal cut me to the core, but it also led me to a place I never expected. Remember, even in the darkest storms, there's always a chance for the sun to shine again. Keep your heart open, and never give up on the possibility of love and happiness. There is life after betrayal, often a richer and more fulfilling one than you could ever imagine.